hey, look, it's the same screen that we had last week, except I've replaced Act 1 with Act 2, and I put the most depressing screenshot in the history of Arcane League of Legends as my background.
Hooray!
Okay, second most
fabulous.
Yeah, this is Isha. She was not long for this world. And they resolved her pretty depressingly.
Yeah, the best of the mute orphans in our that I've ever known.
No, Steph, no, we're not starting with that. Hey, look out, Ryan. Timo was behind you. No.
Timo uses like a blow dart gun. No, he doesn't use a pistol.
No.
You're being so silly.
Yeah, what I'm going to start here is, so I'm gonna go for the other one as well. For all those people in the Zeri mains Reddit subreddit, no, she's not fucking Zeri either. Jesus Christ! If a character is character, then then they are absolutely there, unless you're singed, and at that point you're Corvus Regnick. A man who could appear as evil mad scientist.
Redneck Corvid, yep.
Yeah, as an evil mad scientist of Zorn, making giant werewolf men in one game, and being the friendly neighborhood mechanic to Echo in another game. Make it make sense. Anyway, look, we've learned now that the Forge games are no longer canon, or not even close to it anymore. Rip Forge. But this is our talking about Arcane. The definitely 2 series running show.
Yeah, boy, it's a hell of a ride.
It is.
I feel like we were in it's like a backwards roller coaster, It's like it starts off like kind of like slow. I guess it's kind of like it's like a regular roller coaster. It's like starting off slow and methodical, and just kind of like building a lot of tension and stuff, and then all of a sudden it's just like but instead of being like 3 minutes like a normal roller coaster, it's like 6 hours of
Yeah, and I'm still on the idea that I'm enjoying what I'm watching, but I can't take a breath.
Do you think it's intense now? Boy, howdy! Try watching it at 1.5 times speed, which is what I did to be here on time.
Oh, great! That means that
it's like Coke, dude. It's like doing a line. I'll be awake for weeks after going through that.
That means that final emotional song at the end of Act 3, just before Isha bites it. Spoilers, by the way. I should have said that straight off. Spoilers.
Yeah, everything is spoilers. We're literally here to talk about everything for an hour and a half. There's no filter here.
But yeah, so I heard the emotional song at the end of and Duncan just hit it as
Yeah. Well, I tried to, I managed to fast forward through the slow bits enough that I was able to afford myself the last 8 or so minutes of real time.
Right. Okay. So you got that sort of whole bit. But okay. Yeah. Now let's get into it. First off, like we did last week, the 1-word impression of Act 2, and for me, Shellshock. Because just sort of right.
Is that 1 word? That sounds like 2 words.
Shellshock, 1 word, as in the feeling of like PTSD, or what used to be like PTSD, sort of the old term. But my God, the game. Oh, the game doesn't give you a break either, to be honest. But the show, wow, happy ending.
Way more breaks in League of Legends.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, when you die, you got 45 whole seconds of you don't really gotta worry about anything.
Yeah, I think about the consequences of my actions, which is, but like.
Yeah, you want my 1-word impression because you've already heard it several times. The word is I
need to try and find you a GIF. From this year's Desert Bus. They parodied the More You Know. Do.
Yeah.
But it was just one that just said, ah! But the A's kept going on the thing. So the little rainbow came up and it had the Desert Bus logo, but the A's just filled the screen and kept on going. Ah! But because right, I just have to think of something. I don't know if this would ever get seen by Christian Link and Alex Yee and all the people that worked on Arcane and the Fortiche animation. You know what? Let's even go with Mark Merrill as well. Mark spelt with a C, just to confirm. There was something I saw on Reddit earlier on today that was just like someone had posted an article and it said Mark Merrill and it was spelled M-A-R-K as people normally spell Mark. And he goes on for a long post and talks about about Arcane, and he goes, by the way, it's spelt with a C. To which someone then took the piss immediately afterwards and says, thank you for that, Mac.
I would have just Mark with 2 Ks instead.
Yeah. But
or Mark with a CK.
Yeah, Mike. But yeah, sorry.
God, that would be the most uncannily. Hold on, I need to see that written out because it would be. Wow, that looks awful. Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
Never again.
No. For clarity on there, Duncan has wrote into the stream chat, Mark, M-A-R-C-K. And no, it looks wrong. But anyway, Mr. Merrill, Mr. Yee, Mr. Link. Did you see the words, and they lived happily ever after? And did that upset you? Because my God, right, the end of season 1 of Arcane was bleak. By design, the thing that comes around.
There
in the
were
circles
a lot of bleak moments in the end of during Arcane season 1.
Yeah, I mean it's fair to say what people sort of go on and sort of what YouTubers and reviewers and stuff have turned around as they said that Arcane season 1 is a tragedy. Where the characters are going, where they're going to end up. So it's now you watching in real time of them getting to that point. My God, Jesus. Act 2 is bleak. It is really bleak, and we still have another 120 minutes yet.
Yeah.
And that's sort of where my idea of sort of shell shock comes in, because my God, do they love to dangle the glimmer of hope and then go, nope, not for you.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. There was no point at which I thought, Vi and Jinx and Big Daddy Werewolf Warwick Vander were just gonna
right off into
go
the
back
sunset.
to being a normal family unit.
Honestly,
I'm shocked they got as close as they did. I thought it'd be dramatically more violent and bleak and horrible.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that being said, you could have.
They had even the fact that they even had an hour of peace is more than I ever thought they'd get.
Yeah, but I mean, we've got a decent sitcom though, haven't we? Starring Jinx, Vi, and Warwick. My Hairy Dad.
My Hairy Dad. There you go.
My Hairy Dad. It's just like My Two Dads and stuff like that. It's just My Hairy Dad.
Yeah, it'd be like How I Met Your Mother, and was somehow not your father, but somehow it was actually totally chill. It wasn't no one was particularly jealous or anything. It was just a nice, happy 3-way family unit situation, and it was cool. Bit of a long subtitle, admittedly, but
yeah. Right. With that, then let's again. We're still
I think
loose and free flowing, but we're still going to try and go through the acts.
Yeah, I think
episodes as we go through. So
it's about time. Let's kick it off with episode 4. Paint the town blue.
Paint the town blue, and wow, again, Fortiche opening up the portfolio, with posters worth of animated blueness, and half of Zorn just deciding that that's their new preferred hair color. Is neon blue.
Yeah, apparently people like Jinx so much. They decided, they're all going to start dyeing their hair blue, and blue is going to be their thing.
Yeah. Forget that the last thing they'd known of Jinx was that she just went and just eliminated a bunch of Ken Baron mooks. That's apparently made her that made her immediately the face of Zorn. I mean, I guess given their alternatives, who've you got? The two remaining Ken Barons and Savika, who was immediately outright said, "I am not a fucking leader."
Yeah, it's a very weird situation in Zon. I gotta be honest, because, like, okay, first of all, symbolically, the color blue, I guess. In real life, the blue is generally associated with the police force, so like it's got an interesting choice for a color. It's their own universe. They can make up whatever symbols they want.
Say, it's
like,
quite the subversion.
If they want to be like blue to be like that's the rebel color, like okay, red is typically more associated with that sort of
so rebellion and
but
anarchy
fine,
and
whatever. You want blue because your main character is blue. That's fine.
Yeah.
But setting that interesting bit of symbolism aside, what exactly does Jinx do for these people that makes them like love her so much? What does she do?
Yeah.
Why is Jinx seen as such a heroic, uniting figure?
Yeah, it's weird because to everyone else around Jinx and Jinx herself, she is nothing but trouble. She's caused all, like, I mean, if we look at the time skip between, season 1 and act 1, she's known as the person who single-handedly fucked up any peace between Piltover and Zorn. Single-handedly.
Yeah.
And the chaos that happens with Zorn because of losing Silco, and the revenge arc of Caitlyn and being puppeteered by Ambessa are directly caused by Jinx's actions. So the fact that she's sort of revered...
To be fair, and all of that is like stuff that is generally not public knowledge, and that's I understand that. It's not even so much about whether or not people are aware of all the terrible things she's done. I'm concerned about the flip side. What positive things does she have a reputation for having done that have improved the status of Zon or made people rally to her? I guess it's generally well known that she blew up the embassy. Like that's what she did. That part is accredited to her. And I guess some people will probably think of that as like, yeah, fuck Piltover.
I mean, the only other thing on that is that she was personally involved in the eliminating of one Ken Baron. Let's be honest, even if she didn't pull the trigger on Smeech, she helped Savika to a point where they did it. And let's go for the idea that the chaos of Zorn is caused by the power vacuum of warring Ken Barons. She's technically united Zorn by getting rid of the problem, or in some way getting rid of the problem. I mean, one of the other Ken Barons was actually taken out by Caitlyn's discount Avengers, as we called them.
Yeah. Also, boy, what a organization, those Ken Barons. Let me tell you about how impactful and important and interesting they ended up being. They were a minor point towards the latter half of season 1, and they're wrapped up effectively within the first act of the show. Like, Smeech was like the only one that had like any real presence other than the one lady that decided to crash the funeral.
Yeah, Rennie, by the way, that was what her name ended up being.
Rennie. Okay.
Rennie.
Really rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, but yeah, so Rennie and Smeech were the big ones, and there's a couple of others. There's one who deals with information, and I think he's still alive, and then there was Madam I've forgotten her other name. Just that was my problem on there. The Ken Barons, unfortunately, unless you sit there and really look into them, are nameless. I mean, I can at least tell you the names of the enforcers, the enforcer squad, but that's because they're still around. Speaking of one of them, in a discussion that lit the internet on fire, Caitlyn's rebound with Maddie.
Yeah, that was a choice.
I mean,
I'm sure she'll be glad to hear that, you know, that Vi and Caitlin have just immediately reconciled on that. Be like, oh, okay. I mean, I'm happy for you. Also, like, fuck you.
Yeah, what was I? Just a pity bang? Yes, you were. Oh wow, but yeah, the
like
internet...
she'll be too nice to say that, but I would feel quite
I mean, I'd actually
unhappy.
just love the bit where Maddie just sees that Kate Vi is a thing again, and she just goes, "My work's done. Peace out. Have a good life, you two."
And then fucking yeah.
She goes down into the Undercity, and she goes to Babette's brothel, and she finds herself a new wife.
There you go.
So what were the major like points of Act 1? Obviously, Caitlin not being this big, massive dictator that she was made out to be, that she was still questioning Ambessa's decisions, while also questioning Maddie's we can stop the invasion. All we need to do is just give everything to Ambessa and everything will be fine. And Ambessa's like, "Hey, bitch, get me those hex tech weapons. I need weaponry. Give me all that. You're not slacking off the job now, are you? You've not got a heart, have you? Remember, your mum got killed." And Caitlin's like, hey, Ambessa, yeah, my mum got killed. Leave me to sort it out, and if I want advice from you, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's like, who are you again? Like, you barely. It's like you're not even like from here. You have no official status in this country.
Yeah.
The only reason I can't kick you out is because, to be honest, you come from a country with an enormous military that could absolutely crush us, especially in a weakened state.
Yeah, overwhelming military, amounts. But she might as well have turned around and said to Ambessa, hold on, haven't you got your own daughter to search for? And to be fair, that has now answered a question that came up from Act 1, where I questioned whether the Ambessa that promoted Caitlin to commandant of the Piltover dictatorship, whether she was actually Ambessa or...
Yes, is the
like
answer.
LeBlanc is like, yes, she is. She is just that focused on what she wants to do. Goodbye, doggo. Goodbye, doggo. Out, doggo, go. Out, doggo,
They heard
go.
something that made them excited, and they sent them outside.
They can go see what the excitement's all about.
But yeah, what the hell else? I feel like I was on. My brain was on a track that I was.
Oh, that I derailed you from.
Well, between you and the dogs, they both kind of work together. Shit, we'll just have to move on until I come back to it.
Speaking of,
so anyway, right, yeah, I guess like there's like a ambiguous time gap between these acts here.
There has
some
been
amount
a time
of
skip.
weeks or months have gone by, like not years, obviously, but like. It's not like tomorrow, obviously. No. People have clearly changed, situations have changed.
No, because that would make Isha's little montage at the end of Act 3 seem really, really attached and weird. Because
Isha's all of a sudden like twice as tall. It's like, what? Oh my god.
Yeah, because the idea now that Isha basically just lives in Jinx's depression pit, where she's just basically been playing dead since the fight with Kate Vi. Because she questions this whole thing of, like, I'm not a revolutionary, I'm a fuck-up. And let's be honest, Zorn's better off without me. And Savika, and we've got Savika playing the mum/auntie of this like weird group, basically just going, no, they need a leader, and let's be honest, given this town of fuck-ups, of which I am one, you are the best fit for this.
Yeah. I kind of... Hey, you know what? We have fabulous news. We need to pop... I wish... Hold on. I don't have I don't have anything that's sealed, but fuck. Well, there goes my Pepsi. Can't open that for an hour.
Oh no! Hold on. Try
Anyway,
the 3
I
taps.
don't have. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
I don't have anything that's like sealed, but I can give a little bloop
Ooh,
for
we
this
popped the bottle.
in commemoration of the fact that we have now survived we have now had a single act of Arcane in which Savika didn't almost die.
Oh wait! Didn't you miss the bit where they all got captured and Savika lost her arm again?
Well, okay, at the end of the act, and she was not like she lost her arm, but she wasn't like it didn't like explode. She didn't,
that's true.
She didn't get get set on fire or have like wild rune magic rip up her insides temporarily. None of that happened.
All right, fair. I'll on that
successfully managed to make it through an act without and goddamn close too. What with the whole Warwick business?
Yeah, all right, yeah.
But you know what?
And your resilience.
To Savika.
Yeah, there you go. You know what?
I wasn't planning on drinking, but it just kind of spontaneously came to me.
Aye, absolutely not. It's a school night.
Oh man, fuck! I forgot how good this rum is. Holy shit. Dude, it's awesome. I got this from Mexico on my cruise. It's a Roatan spice rum. Very nice. Very worth the purchase. It might be my favorite rum I've had.
Fair enough.
Very tasty. The Mexicans can give the Cubans a run for their money on rum, which is really unfortunate because rum is the only thing Cuba has going for it. It's the only place in the world where rum is cheaper than Coke.
Wow.
It's the one place. It's the one thing they got going for them. And Mexicans, they might have them. They might have them beat there. Anyway, back to the Arcane.
So yes. So I mean, we got all that. I like the fact that Isha is now just like. She's basically mini Jinx. She is TFT Chibi Jinx.
Yeah, we're very much, writing wise, we're very much symbolically like, oh yeah, now we've gone from the big sister to the little sister to very much duplicating the Vi Powder
so Vi
relationship that we had.
Yeah, so Vi is to Powder as now Powder is to Isha. So it's sort of worked to that point, and then I guess at that point, Vanda is to Savika. I mean, why not?
Man, it's what was I gonna say? I have to say, probably my most like pronounced negative feeling towards the season 1 as a whole is I strongly disliked the Powder Jinx characterization just as a whole. I didn't enjoy it because I didn't find the psychology of it to be consistent. I found the whole situation to be just kind of on a personal level, not from a story writing, so on a personal level, just not very comfortable and not enjoyable. And two, just like I just kind of prefer Jinx as like a Harley Quinn-esque fun crazy character as opposed to like a tragic, like actually mentally ill figure.
Oh, that's a shame with how this act has gone.
When we can get into that
for me, I love this growth, but
I will say, as of episode 4 at least, I enjoyed that we got a little bit more of just sort of like I got glimpses of like Jinx that I recognize from League of Legends. Just kind of like she's just a little bit silly and more like fun, and obviously that doesn't stay. The story has to happen.
Yeah, but yeah, I can see where you're coming on, and I'm gonna reckon that's probably where you're talking about, like the bit where her and Isha look like they're having this massive fight, like basically cockfight between two scuttlers.
Two little guys.
But she introduces them in like ring announcer form. She like just grabs the mic and just like,
it's kind of like it has almost like a BattleBots kind of effect. Like they almost seem like they're like these like crazy like mech creatures, but then obviously they're just a little bit this big.
Yeah, I will say I love that bit because the cut to that kind of felt very Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse with that on the, like they made these big epic motions and animations of the things fighting, and they just smash cuts to Jinx and Isha being bored watching two scuttle crabs just go. It just reminded me of that one. It's that one scene in Into the Spider-Verse where Miles Morales runs up the building, and he's ready to do the first jump with his new Spider-Man powers, and he looks out over the roof. The epic music swells, and he's looking over the roof, and then music smash cut to him just calmly walking down the stairs again. You're just hearing the shoes squeak as they go to.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah,
it was good. And like I say, this is probably the most those little glimpses of fun Jinx are like the most I've enjoyed this version of evil Jinx since Arcane has started.
Mm.
And again, it's still not overall my favorite or anything. I've never considered Jinx to be a character who had the capacity to hold like main character status and to be like a major dramatic force. She always felt more like she would be better as someone else's like henchman or like enforcer.
Yeah.
But they've made the choices that they made for whatever reason, and we're along for the ride. And I've mostly not enjoyed it, but I got more out of it in this act, not even just this season, this act specifically, than I have since it started.
Yeah, I mean, I'll still sort of go on like it's a weird thing that they've got like fun Jinx and like everyone burns Jinx as two sides of the same coin, as opposed to her being, like you said, this sort of Harley Quinn sort of like anarchy gremlin, and
yeah.
So that comes up, and like I say, there's bits in this, and like in episode 6 when she's been snarky to Victor as he's explaining things, and that was sort of pretty cool. In fact, actually, episode 5 when she manages to walk into Vi's room because Vi is absolutely too levered, both physically and drunkenly, to notice that Jinx has just snuck into her room, took her makeup, and tried to tattoo Jinx on her cheek. Except she did it in a mirror, so it's therefore the wrong way round.
Rip.
But, that's like you say, this sort of kooky, fun-loving Jinx is there. But it seems there's a way that they can't be both at the same time. I mean, even with sort of predictions of what's going on, I feel that like Jinx is going to end up into this "I'm sick of all your problems, I'm out" kind of Jinx at this point. It's like she's not even going to sit there and do what she did in the lore of League, which was just do random strikes on Piltover because she could. Maybe tattooing the word or like spray painting the words "fat hands," every now and again. Which at least she said the thing. She called Jinx fat hands.
There you go.
But yeah, so that's all.
She also used the phrase "bitch mittens" to describe those spots, which I thought was. I fucking love that. That was good.
Bitch men, yeah.
Those bitch mittens that you didn't even build yourself.
Which is just so great. I mean, like the fact that there's still this, in spite of everything, there is still some semblance of this sisterly bond, which is sort of like whiplash inducing when you realise where they were just the previous act.
Yes, this is where where the comments of whether or not there should have been a longer series, 3 or 4 seasons maybe, where we could have had an intermission, there's something.
An
where
interlude, sort of like
maybe tension, an interlude where maybe things can settle a little bit first before we get into the okay, we're kind of over trying to kill each other.
Yeah, I mean,
it just feels that it was like it felt like a very quick turnaround after where we were not long ago.
But I mean, I guess it says something for the sort of the motivations of the characters and that, because before we sort of head into episode 5, the major things that happen here at this point is Isha, of all people, she cosplays Jinx to get Zorn to unite together. Knowing that, apparently, doing a little flare from a rooftop of Zorn 5 miles away leads everyone to believe that it's Jinx spurring on the Zornites and not, not tiny little child. Not, as the internet is calling her, Jinx's emotional support orphan.
Yeah, there you go. Man.
Yeah, so that's.
So we also had the whole like prison break.
The prison break, yeah.
With Warwick, boy, also Warwick vision. Accurate depiction of what it's like to play Warwick, by the way, as someone who plays Warwick.
You just see red the entire game.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, there's a guy, he's dead. Oh, there's another guy, he's dead. You don't really see everything in like real time. It's kind of like frame, but it's like it's like 2 frames a minute, kind of thing. It's like dead.
Occasionally you have pop-ups of Singed happen. But no, that was pretty cool. And then so this like turned into horror territory a little bit with just like this beast just goes in, and if you're in his line of sight between him and his target, oh boy, you are rat jam or enforcer jam, Zornite jam. You see Singed just there, just sat in his little prison cell, and he's like, I'm a lock myself in. We'll come back when it's all settled down.
Yeah, I like that. Where he just starts hearing like the chaos happening. He's like, okay, I'm not like 100% sure how this is gonna play out, so just in case.
But then Jinx's fight with Warwick, which let's make no doubt about it. Normal character against Shimmer character wins. Shimmer character against Man Beast has it all day long.
I guess this is sort of like something that I was kind of like missing, and I guess that's just my bad for being dumb or whatever. It's just like it never really like occurred to me. It's like, yeah, she's, because of whatever Singed did to her to flume from Echo's bomb attack. I guess that's sort of like permanently infused her with shimmerness. So she's. I've been like kind of like clowning on her, be like, how the fuck is she standing up to fire? It's like, well, okay, she is like an enhanced person. Like, she's not just like throwing hands with her, 89 pounds,
her spindly frame
body. Like she's got some wiriness to her because of that.
But because of that, she's got this sort of like superhuman speed. She's got reflexes, and that's sort of where it comes to. She might not be able to like physically. Like if she can catch Vi off guard, she can get a good knee in. But most of the time, she's outperforming Vi by dodge. Her dodge stat is higher. So we then.
So there is that.
So we end the episode with Warwick shaking his head a little bit, getting a couple of wolf eyes, and just going, powder. As he's about to deliver this killing blow.
And to be clear, he doesn't say like powder. He says powder. Like it's very. It really. I'll be honest. As much as like I'm sure this was supposed to be like a very impactful. Like, oh my god, Vander. Oh, it's so cute. And it was that. But also like I'll be honest, British Warwick did throw me off a little bit. I kind of threw me
which is funny because it's played by JB Blanc, who I believe is Australian.
I thought I looked him up. I thought he was like a French British person, but I could be.
I might be wrong myself here, but
he definitely. I mean, I believe it, but I mean, that's what I thought it was.
What was it, JB Blanc? A French-born British actor. No, you're right.
There you go.
I'm wrong.
There you go.
Yeah, British Warwick for you is a little bit.
Yeah, it is not the thing that I thought I'd be dealing with.
It's just that
it kind of makes me smile.
Vander sounds Australian, isn't it? That's what that's.
Yeah, and it's just like I'm just used to like definitely like American voice Warwick because I play him so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what I'm used to hearing. It's like I almost felt that. It's like
Oh man, yeah, that is the thing, isn't it? That catches you off a little bit between sort of the Arcane voice actors of the characters and the League voice actors.
And now all of a sudden I'm expecting the word to be like, "Oi, evening, Gov, top of the morning."
Well, when he
spot of tea now in it.
when they sort out his head, because at the moment that's the one difference between Arcane Warwick at the moment and League Warwick is, well, his head.
Yeah, definitely looks a little different.
So that's the thing.
Hey, I'm sending you. This is more stuff that doesn't fit on the screen. Maybe you could if you take this, maybe you could shove it up on your background and behind you.
Yeah,
just temporarily. I just wanted to send you this completely unedited screenshot from Arcane.
Oh, definitely unedited screenshot. Okay. Ah, yes. Yeah, yeah, let me just save this image and we'll keep talking on there because we move into episode 5, which you've got the name of as Blisters and Bedrock. That's it.
That's the one.
Here we go.
This is the part where I have to start speeding up the video. So, I'll try my best to follow along with things that happened.
Yeah. Right. While we're here, hold on. Just going to change my background. So yeah, this is so we get the montage of Vi just basically has got. She's the Jinx at this point. She's got nothing to live for. She's
going on her
Hello, Governor.
She's going on her Sherlock Holmes pit fighting arc.
Oh my God! Can we redub Vi's pit fights when she's just like going? Can we just get Haley Steinfeld to just like go? 1, he's gonna go and do the hook with the left, but then feint and jab with the right. Meanwhile, if I just face this way and
wild teammate, discombobulate.
Yeah. But yeah.
In summary,
discombobulate. Yeah. Vi gets pissed, and basically,
and then she also gets angry.
Around her. Hey. Yeah. So she's there with Loris initially. Enjoying themselves, having some drinks, spending some coin, earning some coin. But then Vi just then decides, why should I bother? And she's gone back to her old classic training routine of blocking with her face. And that's
take on the Rocky method is what they call that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as tough as she is, she doesn't have quite the constitution. She doesn't have quite the constitution of Rocky.
Yeah. Loving that. I'm just loving the background as the more I see it. Of just definitely unedited.
I mean, it's the accent, man. It just makes you more, I don't know, fancy, more gentlemanly. That's just what it does to you, man. Also, let's talk about. Can we have this skin in LoL, please? Like, I know it's all a big advertisement, and I'm feeding the beast, but can we have this Vi skin, please?
Oh, what Brawler Vi? Oh, she is. She is going to be a skin.
All right. I'll buy it.
Yeah, she's in there. I believe it is coming out as Brawler Vi.
Please take my money. Let's go ahead and
don't show your card details. Yeah.
There you go. You can see the code on the back. It's fucking. You can't do anything without it with the front bit.
Yeah. So Brawler Vi, Fractured Jinx, I think is one that they're doing, and then the skin based on the end. Oh, right, fuck it, let's just go with it. Arcane Survivor Jace, which they spoiled accidentally a week ago.
Oh no!
So that Jace that comes out of the Wild Rune later.
Also that one. Yeah. Yes, I will also take that one.
Yeah, let's have bearded Jace, please. Bearded, dishevelled Jace. Man of the future, indeed.
Listen, I'm not gay, but.
I mean,
just saying.
It's
a good look.
No, purely here. If given the opportunity, yes. That's going to annoy all the Jace tours or the Vic Jace, or whatever the ship name for Jace.
I thought it was Jicta.
Oh, Jicta, that was it, wasn't it? It was Jicta, wasn't it? It's just like, or Jacta. You know, I mean, because to be honest, that Jicta, Jace is feeling a little bit left out here, that they're only using the J.
Hey,
I mean, I guess Kate Vi is, you know. By the way, something that me and Martin figured out. You know when we had Dictator Caitlin? None of the portmanteau crew ever bothered. Yes.
Yeah,
we were sat there watching. It's like, why has no one used Dictatelin yet? And it's just like,
I just came up with that. I read the future.
Yeah, man of the future, read the mind. You read all possible outcomes, Victor. So now we just immediately like raise onto this idea that Jinx was just going to become another bloodstain on Vi's apartment carpet. And Jinx manages to use the keyword Operation keyword Vanda. And then we're on. Now
it turns things around a little bit.
Yeah, it's I mean, it goes from nearly killing Jinx to just fighting her in an underground tunnel that illuminates whenever sound's made. And give it up for Isha, by the way, over 2 episodes has tried to fight. She tried to fight against Rictus. Ambessa's henchman.
Yeah, with emphasis on hench. Like Ambessa's like for a woman, she big. Like she towers over Jace. Like she is a fucking brick house, and he is like like this.
Yeah.
He's a big man.
Big man, and I just love the fact that she headbutts him, she punches him a few times. And then a bit like the Scuttler fight, it looks like she's doing effective damage, but then it zooms out a little bit, and she's just you can just hear the padding of her fist against his head. It's just like ow, stop it, ow, stop it, ow, ow, ow. Yeah, Rictus, if he had any emotion whatsoever.
All right, enough of that shit.
Yeah, which, by the way, violence against children is a massive thing that happens in Arcane. Like they usually have the.
I'm for it. Punch the shit out of your kids.
Whoa. You can usually tell.
We need more violence against children. They're all they all act like they're immune. Like there's nothing will ever hurt them. Everyone's all like anti-children violence. It's like no, get them.
This is a thing with TV nowadays. Like if you want to make a show dark, have a child die. But if you were dark but you didn't want to commit, the child dies off screen. If you
want to be arcane, you have a child blow up 2 slightly older children.
Yeah.
While trying to save their lives, and make that like her breaking moment.
Or have a man while really enjoying a raid on a chemtech factory, just use your just be shooting your hammer around and just kill a kid.
You need to be careful about how you use the word hammer and children in the same thought. All right.
Hey,
need to fucking calm down.
Well, wait until I use the term hammer and salo. So we have this little adventure to find Vanda. Just who's apparently, when he's not tasked by Singed to hunt down every human known to man, skulks around in his old mining area.
He didn't really have much of a plan for what to do with Warwick after he booped his snoot. He really kind of
he ran the experiment, did what Singed does, which is just go, a thing happened, and just moved on. Well, didn't move on, did he? He got captured because he didn't think about his great plan after locking the cell door again. So he got caught by.
I gotta be honest, I'm starting to see how Silco and Singed became friends. They both have kind of the same idea of I'm gonna have this incredible idea that's gonna get a lot of people killed, and it's gonna be really, really scary, and everyone's gonna be afraid of me. Don't know what I'm gonna do after that. But
Yeah,
it'll be neat.
That was the thing, wasn't it? Singed is I'm just gonna use all these I'm going to bring back my child from the dead. And how do you suppose to do that?
zombie werewolves, probably. That'll probably do it.
Zombie werewolves. The only reason that failed is because I like kidnapped a giant axolotl and just drained its blood. And then failing that, I don't know. I mean, I got kicked out of the academy.
There you go. There's some backstory.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I mean, at least Singe has actually has an ultimate goal. I mean, I guess you could say Silco's ultimate goal was, Zonite independence and all that. But at least it's that's really big.
I feel that was that was like a side effect of what he actually wanted. Really, because it's weird. Because his whole thing, I don't know if they explained at the end of episode 2, or is it the beginning of episode 3? They basically, when they explain who Singed actually is and why he's doing the things he's doing, which he breaks it down to love.
I think that was. Let me just get through my timeline here. I think that was an episode 3 bit, or possibly no. Actually, it was this. It was this one. This one. It was sort of like the midpoint of this episode. Yeah, I was just scanning through the thing to see.
Yeah. So they determined that Singed is actually a character that's been written in the universe pages of League of Legends, as a tinkerer, a scientist called Corvus Revnik. I've butchered the name, and his name is mentioned when it comes to the character of Oriana, the Lady of Clockwork. So he was the man who rebuilt his dead daughter into a clockwork ballerina woman. And at that point, I believe then would also be involved with the creation of Blitzcrank.
Blitzcrank. Oh my gosh.
Blitzcrank. But yeah, so that sort of happens. Now that does lead to some contradictions. I loved playing Convergence, which was Echo's Riot Forge game, and in that, Singed is already running amok. Warwick has already been built because one of the levels is a full-on chase sequence where you have to run the fuck away from Warwick through the pipes of Zorn.
Which, when it comes to lore accurate, Warwick is the correct thing to do.
But this was then Corvus before he made Oriana. But at that point then, you have, in that game, you have Singed and Corvus being two distinct personalities. I mean, for a start, Corvus in Convergence isn't scarred, bald, and, has bandages all over, where he's been burnt from all his experiments. Corvus just looks like a spindly man with a couple of monocle tinkery stuff and a bit of, grey hair everywhere. Uh-huh. So the fact that they've made him one and the same, I assume it does neaten up little bits of the lore, but as I said off screen, or I may even said at the beginning of this, the Riot Forge games don't exist.
Yeah, and really. And the lore is arcane at this point. Whatever happened, in another game, in another time, it's just sort of at best alternate reality, not the primary continuity. Not what's really happening.
Yeah, I mean, to Convergence's benefit, the game was Echo teaming up with and defeating his future self. So, that sort of happens in his future Echo. Future Echo. Boom, boom. It does end up in
great episode.
Yeah, it does end up sacrificing his life by jumping through a tear through realities, also known as Convergence. Roll credits. And then at the end of the game, you see Echo be where future Echo was, and various various windows to other universes occur, and the last universe that it flickers to is the last drop from Arcane. So they at least gave themselves a little bit of an out in terms of this whole unified universe theory. But yeah, so that Singed is sort of interesting on there. The Vander fight, well, Vi uses her... this happens. Warwick finds them because earlier on in the episode, while Jinx and Vi are having their sisterly not play fight, Vi whacks Isha across the face, and immediately regrets it. Yeah, immediately regrets it. At least they had a callback on that. They called back to the point where she slapped the fuck out of Powder, causing her to bleed. And then, realizes at that point that Jinx has something to give a shit about. And she realizes, she might not be this. She might not be this person.
Wait,
I need
hold
to put
on.
down.
Let her cook.
Yeah. To Isha's credit, Jinx asks if she's all right, and she just wipes her bloody nose and just goes, eh. She just shrugs it off. It's just like, eh.
Like, I've had worse.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she fought Rictus. Just a time skip before.
It was a close fight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, very close. Until Isha said
he almost won.
God damn it. But yeah, so we get to this bit where the Vi gets to confront Warwick this time, and manages to succeed in her fight against Warwick by 1, blocking with her face, and 2, just yelling, "Vanda, da 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 da."
She doesn't actually say the dur.
No, it's just the echoing.
The cave
not echo the character people as well, just echo as in.
But yeah, it's but yeah, she also managed to. I mean, to be fair, even leading up to that, she fucking like dropped some fucking meat. Like she gets some pretty good punches in there. She doing her tank busting business of just put on the percentile damage. It really adds up.
Yeah, put on the bitch mittens and she can go.
But yeah, they have a little bit of snap back to reality. Hope there goes gravity. Family hug, beautiful moment where everyone's back reunited.
Yeah, I wanna. So before we move on to episode 6 here, how did you feel about the flashback? Vanda's memory.
So I guess like Silco and Vander and
Felicia.
Vi's mom Felicia. They're like they're buddies.
Yeah.
They were.
Turned out they were buddies,
familiar.
and prior to Silco having a face full of infested water, looked hot. What the hell is it with this show? Like he had the Jinx, like the Jinx overlying hair, the little bedhead hair curl thing. It's like, my God, this guy comes in. I mean, I did preferably like the line where she's like, "Oh, I was just walking in to find my bar and to see Bozos 1 and 2, trying to work out on this plan." And Silco goes, "Oh, that's a great story. I have a correction though. I'm Bozo 1." Which, again, at that point, now you've actually given me a reason to like Silco before he became a villain.
Look at Silco having a sense of humor, having friends.
Oh, I will
caring about things.
Yeah, I will say
that aren't Jinx.
Me and Martin laughed our fucking heads off when Felicia casually said to Vander and Silco, "Oh yeah, I got knocked up." And the two of them just look at her because they've just poured out 3 glasses of wine, and then it's just like, "Oh, you knocked up, do you?" And Vander immediately does the switch. You didn't even hear the pouring. This glass of wine disappears, glass of orange juice appears in the cup that then becomes Powder's. I know that cup without all the drawings on it. That's Powder's cup.
Oh my God!
So yeah, there is a little bit of.
It's like poetry; it rhymes.
Yeah. There is a little bit of people sort of like going, a little bit of like, isn't this a bit of a retcon? Because now that would mean Silco knew Vi and Powder because he knew Felicia, and therefore, why would Silco, be the way he was to Vi and Powder in Act 1 and and so on and so forth. I mean, I can argue that a little bit with the fact that, I mean, Silco was like playing the front of being this hardened criminal and had to get rid of all his ties to who he was with, and Vander in particular. And I mean, why would he?
I guess how much interaction, like direct interaction between Vi and or Jinx did Silco have during the Act 1 of Season 1? Like,
he had. I think it's probably safe to say he had no interaction with him. Actually, no, I think you're there. He had no interaction with him until episode 3. So he did have interaction with him in Act 1 because, I mean, he directly called out Vi and the other children when they were trying to rescue Vander in the cannery. Because he's the one who turns to Vi and basically goes, "Oh, didn't you hear? Vander and his kids ran away and were never seen again." Before then, he hires all the mooks to kill him. I mean, an argument that has come up on the internet is that one of the things that you see in a Vander flashback is him on the bridge when you see Vi and Powder's parents dead. And as Vander looks up, he sees a crestfallen Silco. Just like a horrified Silco of like, shit. Now, it's not questioned. The people may have gone a little bit too far on there and saying, did Silco kill Felicia? Or, was he just looking like, how did we involve them in our stupid plan? Sort of thing.
I guess here's my best faith interpretation of making this make sense. And without going back to watch any of this a single extra time, none of this is definitive. But I'm gonna give this my best shot. I'm gonna say, the three of them, Felicia, Vander, and Silco, great relationship. Three amigos prior to war. Then war happens. Silco and Vander, big falling out, hate each other. And then Felicia dies, Vander and takes it, sort of adopts Vi and Jing, or Powder. And so at that point, it's kind of like he writes them off as like, yeah, they were Felicia's kids, but now they're under Vander's influence, and that's kind of like tainted them. Like, I have nothing to do with them anymore at that point.
Yeah.
But then when at the end of Act 3, when I mean, he's like getting there with Jinx. Like, he's clearly like, I seem to recall he has like some kind of like weapon or device. He's about to do something to Jinx that would be not good. If I recall, he has like something behind his hand, like behind.
He has
his back.
a knife.
But then, something like that. But then Jinx like falls into his arms, and he's like, oh, well, this is nice. And maybe there's like that moment in his where he's like, wait, maybe I could do something with this one. Maybe that's why he cares so much about Jinx.
Yeah, I mean,
like the idea is that it's like in Felicia's memory, it's like, I can save this one. I can make this one right.
Yeah.
And whereas Vi is kind of like, fuck her. She's too much.
She's too like Vander. That's the problem. Yeah, because my thing on there,
which if I'm right about any of that, would make Jinx and Silco's relationship 150% better, because I fucking hated that in season 1. And
yeah, it's sort of like, and if that's the way it's gone, and that's interpreted the way it is, it does sort of answer a lot of questions about that relationship. That's the way. See, my thing on there, my only question I sort of asked him out is like, when did Vander find the time to kill Silco? Because to all intents and purposes, for Vander, he killed Silco. Silco just sort of came back, and the only way that
certainly
that could have worked with the flashback
he certainly made an attempt, and it did not pan out. He believed that he had died.
Which the way that works with the fact of the shocked looking Silco on the bridge means that he adopted Vi and Powder first, was then probably like had Silco coming in and going, that was just a setback, we can try again, and Vander went, enough, and wrote his apology letter in the mine, which we find out in episode 5, that he tried to write an apology letter to Silco, but never sent it, and it was just like,
I guess it must have been after the bridge, after they've come home from like that war, like that's when they were like They had their falling out and the the underwater.
Yeah. So that's I mean that's the part that makes sort of like time sense.
It's a tight timeline, but I think it technically checks out.
Yeah. So that's that's the thing that also, so that flashback scene happened and it sort of adds a little bit more depth, but all we do after that, I have to get it out of there in there. Unfortunately, Felicia died, so bye Felicia. There we go. I needed to. It was in my head.
It's like a bit.
It was, yeah, I had to do the bit. I apologize. I also have no regrets. Episode.
Shall we talk about the last thing?
Oh, the last thing of episode 5.
The very last thing that happens in episode 5 before.
Oh yeah.
Before things go dark.
So somehow Jace returned.
Yeah. Somehow Jace returned with a sexy new beard and an even sexier new hammer.
Yeah.
The one he uses for fighting, not that. Anyway, the point is.
So he manages to come back as in now a walking, healed Salo. Is taking back some samples from the hex core, or from the anomaly or whatnot. And they also just like totally like skip by that. Like there's like an offhand mention like, hey, there's some guy like doing like healing stuff in the underground. You should go check it out. And then just next time we see him, I was like, oh, yep, I'm now a Victor drone. That's cool.
When you say that you don't, it really makes it seem like you do.
Look, Lest looks awesome. Let's be honest. I mean, I still love that. I still love that fact from the first act. I don't think we ever got around when Lest turns around to Mel and she was like saying, "Oh, I didn't hear anything," and Mel just turns and looks at her ears, twitching, and goes, "Bullshit." It's like, come on, those ears. You could hear stuff. And maybe that's a bit of like human Vastaean racism there, possibly. League of Legends has done it. Vastaeans are like fucking hated upon in there. I may have got that confused with Ruby. They both check out. But yeah, Jace is there talking to Salo and Jace is like, I've got to destroy this hex core. I've got to destroy sort of everything. Everything's all fucked up, and Salo's like, hold on, can I let me speak to the manager. Hello, Jace. I am Victor. How are you? I heard you need to destroy something.
It's like, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, it's like oh no, I am one and one am all, and everything's all fine.
I can control him, but he's still his own independent person. I promise, totally. There's no hive mind going on here, right? Yeah, right. It's like, yeah, of course. It's like, see, he agrees.
Yeah,
he says with his own voice. It's like,
while this is happening, Jace is just looking at him, not really listening to the conversation, because Jace doesn't see Salo. He sees some like void monstrosity, and freaks the fuck out, and then just goes, no, okay, I can't do this. We need to destroy everything. And Victor goes, I'm sorry, Jace. You cannot do that. Please, though, come to the commune. I'll make you a cup of tea. Everything's fine. We can just talk things out. That'll be all great. And Jace goes, fine. As he does that, Salo, gets back on the customer service line and is like, I'm just going to take these samples now. Are you good with that? And Jace was like, fuck no. And what I've now seen to be on this is that there is an arc word for Arcane at the moment, and that seems to be I'm sorry too. Because in Act 1 you had Jinx say it to Vi, and that led to Caitlyn trying to blow Jinx's brains out. In this case, it was between Jace and Silo, and it led to Jace bludgeoning Silo's brains out.
He like evaporated him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised how at the beginning of episode 3 you saw like Salo have any resemblance of a head, because he watermeloned that guy.
Yeah, it was he definitely used his Q on that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and hit a crit.
Smush.
Hit a crit.
Indeed.
And so yeah, rip Salo. That's.
Say hello to Oblivion, I guess.
Yeah. So how many living counselors do we have now at this point? Mel and
If we discount Jace, who quit, we've got Mel and
former Clockwork corset woman, and that's it, isn't it?
Yeah. Did we see her this episode? Is she doing anything?
What, the counselor or Mel? I mean, either one's valid. No, we didn't see the counselor. No, we only saw her in Act 1. We haven't seen her since.
She's gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, the fuck? Really? Seriously, guys?
Yeah, hello?
I guess I'm...
I'm running the council now, I guess. Yeah, we've got a vote. Unanimous decision. Pretzels? Well, that's one in favour. But yeah, speaking of, because we've completely missed this bit, where the fuck is Mel? Because this episode is the last time we see her for the series so far.
Yeah, she's in some kind of flowered hell.
She's in some sort of mind prison.
She's in the dungeon that Batman what got thrown into.
Oh yeah.
When he was in Batman 3.
Mm-hmm.
Where he has to like climb up the side, like all of his crazy jumps.
Yeah, and then throw a rope down for everyone else. It's like, you don't have to suffer my trial. But yeah, we can easily just do this in a weird 90-second recap for Mel. Mel wakes up in a giant prison. She just sees that there's no way out of there. There's no door in. There was no other way out. There's just a puddle in the floor and one little moth flying around. Oh, and apparently her dead brother, Kino, who, tries to say, hey, yeah, I was here too. I was captured as well. It turns out
it was not her brother.
Yeah.
It was her.
It was a LeBlanc duplication.
Oh my god, it was Agatha all along. Can you believe it?
It was LeBlanc all along. Who goes making a giant pit? It was LeBlanc all along. Da, 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 da. As it turns out, by the way, her assistant suffered a brutal death. She was literally torn apart by chains. It turns out that like the thing, like the whole Ambessa saying that Kino fucked with the wrong man and that's why he died was bullshit. Because the Black Rose are just looking for one person, and that's Mel. Who,
They got her. I don't know how they couldn't have gotten her before now, so they can just fucking magic rose teleport her across space and time whenever.
And LeBlanc at that point, or who we assume, the Black Rose, we assume it's LeBlanc, basically says, we were searching for you, sister. Because this other thing is apparently Ambessa. Oh, that was a laugh when they say, "Oh yeah, Ambessa had an affair and she had a relationship with someone." Both Mel and Kino just looked and just like went, "Our mother." Fuck off now.
But of course, one of these people is the child of that relationship, so it's kind of an interesting conversation from like a meta sense.
Yeah. I mean, especially, and we go on for Mel for that because rumours, Mel is going to be a playable character in League of Legends at some point next year.
Which means she can't die in the show, right?
Because
none of the playable League characters are capable of dying.
What is it they call it in what's the trope?
We had literally one that died, and he came back as a British zombie werewolf.
Yeah. I mean, what do they call it? There's a particular trope name on tvtropes.org. Oh yeah, that's it. Saved by Canon.
Saved by Canon. There you go.
But Mel breaks free of the chains by exploding in radiant light. She goes supernova on a bitch, and that's the last. That's the last we see of Mel this act. Which is more than can be said for Heimerdinger and Echo, because if we could just explain what they did in this act. Episode 6, let's move on.
Hey man, we got places to be.
Yeah.
We
got like 15
stuff to
minutes.
do, and this is a busy episode.
It was. My God. So going into this, we have Jinx, Vi, and Isha reuniting with Vanda and taking the pilgrimage to Victor's commune in an attempt to try and heal the Warwick out of Vander. We have Singed and Ambessa and Caitlin trying to track down Warwick because Singed has made a bargain for his life of basically, I'll give you Warwick if you let me live and carry on with my experiments and try and bring back my my daughter from an affliction. Oh yeah, what was that affliction? Death.
Death. Yeah. It's a nasty disease, you know.
Yeah, she's just got a mild case of death.
Brain is making noises that it interferes with thought.
Yeah. So
I was trying to say, fuck, come on, you can do this.
Summon it, summon the other law.
It's gone. It slipped right through my fingers.
all these threads. So we got the Jinx Vi thread. We've got the Ambessa thread. We also have Jace's Terminator arc.
Oh yeah. All right. It was right. It was. I was gonna say it's yeah. It was like the counter offer is basically like, oh yeah, Ambessa's like, hey, make weapons for us.
Yeah, make weapons for us, and you shall live. That's
indeed.
It's like you wanna sort out your daughter and you'll provide me Warwick. That's great. I propose a different solution. How about you work for me, make me weapons, and I don't chop your head off?
There you go.
Good. And Singed, to his credit, goes, sure. He's not a man that didn't look like a man who showed fear. It just looked like a man who was just like, yeah, well, that's the hand I've been dealt. We'll go for it.
He's that's all he's ever been about. Just like I will be friends with anybody. I will take any alliance. I have no allegiance, no concept of loyalty. All I care about is as long as I'm allowed to live, as long as I am funded and I can continue my experiments, I don't care who I work for or what I do.
Yeah. And that's how it goes. So we get to this commune and everything is all over the place at this point. So
say Caitlin's getting fighting lessons with a stick.
Oh yeah.
From Ambessa.
From Ambessa, while Rictus is just sat there burning some new runes for his staff because it's took him all this time to use them again after expending them on the Black Rose agent from the previous act.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Caitlin learns about the four principles of the four principles of the three principles of fighting. Yeah. Because, Ambessa teaches her the three things like guile and strength and timing. But I learned of a fourth principle, sacrifice. And it's like, well, someone's dying at the end of this episode. Thank you very much, Ambessa. You have just said the arc word for this episode. Foreshadowing is a literary device in which
you gotta learn the 5 Ds of dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, dodge.
But yeah, so they're all there, and everything seems like it's fine. They get to the commune. Rock, Shimmer afflicted guy
what?
from.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah,
not even close.
He's
like his I don't know, his first apostle or whatever.
Yeah, he's like the herald or like the voice of the herald. He's just like, hey, welcome to the commune. We're here from 9 to 5. Breakfast is served at 8:45. Just come in, take what you need,
welcome,
drop all
no
your
guns
weapons
are
at the door. And
I do like that, when people point weapons at him or threaten him with guns, he's kind of like, you have to understand, I literally don't care, but that's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, he's just matter of fact about it. It's like, you can shoot me if you want, but you're not getting into the commune without the weapons. Just leave him there. We'll put him in Lost and Found, and you can take him back on your way out.
Stares right down the barrel. Just like, yeah, man.
Yeah, so Jinx throws
what
her
you gotta
weapon
do.
away, and Vi, I don't know how she manages to keep up with where these gauntlets are at any given point, because the way that she just like removes the gauntlets is just drop them where she stood and just walk off.
Is that like a button? Is there like a toggle?
I
in
think
her, in her
there's
gauntlets?
something
Was there
in the
like a thumb?
gauntlets that allows them
It's
to
like
just sort of
click and she'll ka-chunk. Like,
ka-chunk.
we really don't want to accidentally do that, like do that by accident, mid fight.
Mm.
How about just fall off and just like drop on your toe while you're
I
trying
believe-
to punch somebody? Like, ah.
I mean, I believe she needs the quick release on him, considering what happened in Act 1's fight, where the weird arcane fuckery melded them to her hands, so she had to desperately try and do a quick release. But yeah, she drops them, and she just walks off, and Isha looks at the gauntlets for too long. Foreshadowing is a literary device in which... and then runs into the commune, putting something in her pocket. Hex gems. And they walk in, and Victor says, oh yeah, you know what, I'll it's like, can you heal this man? Sure, why not? It's like, is there anyone you say
I'll give
no?
it a go.
Yeah, it's like, anyone you say no to? And he goes, no. And sits there at a fountain and talks about how he's now like Hex Tech Jesus, and feed the 5,000,
like, yeah,
save the many. But then talks about how, oh yeah, I'll save Vander, and it's like, how we never told you his name. I was like, no, he told me. I'm like, what?
I like I like his like the moment he touches Vander, he's like, every system has its limit, but it's like, he's worth it. It's like, you're goddamn right, Vander's worth it.
Vander is worth it.
Victor, you beautiful man.
You beautiful bastard. Like,
my favorite character from season 1.
Yeah.
Like,
but I liked Jinx's snark at this point though. It's like, ask for a miracle, get a metal fortune cookie. He's just like, oh no, blah blah blah. He does this, and yep, cookie. just Jinx being that snarky, fun self and stuff, and he agrees to the condition.
It's also nice that a person who is like functionally omniscient touches you in the forehead. It's like, yes, you're an objectively good person. I'm gonna save you.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean,
glad we got that sorted.
I mean, at that point, is there anyone like Victor hasn't touched and gone, you're an objectively good person? I find the good in all of you. I mean, that being said, what happens to the empties? What happens to those who he touches and isn't a good person? Does he absorb them? Does Sky get a new friend inside the Hex Core?
Yeah. He's like, oh, you. Yeah, we could do without you. And that's the part where he just like unhinges his jaw and just consumes them.
Glory. That's where he then says
They actually did 2 catchphrases.
Yeah,
they had
Glorious Revolution.
They had Glorious Revolution, yeah.
And
they had when Caitlyn and Vi, jumping ahead just a couple scenes here, when Caitlyn and Vi finally see each other again, Vi makes a quip of like, on the job I see.
Oh yeah.
Which
yeah,
on the job, that's a Caitlyn expression.
And a very very quick walk back, by the way, because I was on the idea of like Jinx caring about people and having things to care for. Right back in episode 4, I completely forgot that when Isha is taken before the prison break, and Savika just goes and says, "Oh no, they got her," and like for a second, because like until this point, Jinx hasn't had any of the psychotic breaks. It takes Isha going missing to nearly completely freak out, and then at that point she just like goes, "No, I'm under control. We got this. What do I need to do?" To the point it's like, it is a bit weird on there that Savika is worried about Jinx becoming Jinx again. But
yeah.
But we get to we get this nice little montage of Victor trying to try and heal Warwick. He's there.
You can definitely tell they're going with. You can definitely tell they're going with a lot of like religious imagery. Like they how the like all the the wild rune bubbles and the structure that had very strong resemblance to like church stained glass
Church
windows and all that.
Everyone in the commune wearing white, and sort of like flowing garb and stuff like that. Victor with his crutch / cane / shepherd's crook. He just needs 10 league commandments. Generally, they all go 1 to 10. Stop being a dick and toxic to people. 1 through 10. I mean, 10 is really.
Thou shalt not rage quit after the first 7 minutes when you are a 0 and 2.
Yeah.
As an AD carry.
Thou shalt not smash your keyboard after losing the first tower.
Thou shalt play ARAM at least once a week in order to detox from Summoner's Rift.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So we have this little montage of like I was saying, like Victor trying to heal Thingy. He's providing food and water to Warwick, who is very picky. He apparently only takes food and drink from people he cares about. So Isha, a girl who's known for a little bit of time, probably because she looks like powder, provides him all the food. But then, things go south. We have Ambessa poster guard of Noxons, followed by Singed and his Warwick tracker.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a combination of Shimmer and his own blood to, if I mix the two compounds, I can track anyone. Beast is over here.
Yeah. It's just like, how, can you track him? It's like, yes.
You know what? That's Singed though. I can almost guarantee you that in itself was an experiment. So it combines them and looks surprised when it works. It's like, yes. Yeah. Yes.
Apparently.
Yes. I can, as of this moment. Check that off on the Singed.
I pulled the solution out of my ass.
Singed literally throws Shimmer
do you think
at the
I got
wall
the blood?
and sees what sticks.
He really does, and you know what? Whether it sticks or doesn't, he's interested in both results.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
He'll make use of either.
Yeah. So Ambessa rolls up with her army, and she walks up to Hook.
Tend to do.
She walks up to Hook, and he goes, "No, you are not allowed in the commune with that many people and that much steel."
Yeah.
And then they basically just turn around and like, all right, fine. We're not walking in there without our weaponry, so we're just not going to walk in. But we'll stay here. Make us move.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like yeah, and again, it's just sort of like that, like complete like the kind of bravery that you only get when you're like devoutly religious. You're just like, I literally, if I die, that's fine. I've led a meaningful life. I literally have Jesus behind me, so whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's where we got it. And Ambessa, she has her objective. She's not going to stray from it. Whatever it takes, as long as it takes. She was getting what she was wanting. Whatever it takes.
Yeah, nice Imagine Dragons reference there.
Oh God!
Appreciate it.
Damn it!
Appreciate it.
So yeah, that happens, and then Vi notices, and basically tries to, I'm gonna deal with this Ambessa bitch. Let's go for it. Gets immediately fucking tackled by Caitlyn. Leads to that line of "on the job I see." Bit of a bit of good old talk between exes. What have you done with your hair? It looks like an oil slick.
An angry oil slick.
Angry oil slick, and then was, oh yeah, what were you doing? Oh well, I was sneaking up on Ambessa before I got tackled by a mongoose. Mongoose. But yeah, it leads to the line that apparently completely changes Caitlyn's allegiances. It's just like, oh, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Oh, being tasked to hunt down a monster. What are you doing here? Trying to save that monster because it's my dad. And then we just we cut to Ambessa's tent where a captured Vi is brought in for execution. And, sort of just leaves. And Caitlin leaves. She drops a rifle at the door and, fucks off. Is going to do some shit, walking around the camp, and Jinx is about to, I've got a decent shot on Rictus and Caitlin here. Which one shall I kill? And then, we then cut to Ambessa, and she's there with Vi, and she's like, I'm going to kill you, I would have made you part of my army, but I'm not going to. And then Vi just goes, Vander taught me 3 things. 1, be honest, and that's why I speak to someone who smells like a cesspool. 2, be patient. I still have trouble working out, still working through that one, but being tied up helps. And 3, yes, what is 3? Shut the fuck up. And then just as she breaks free and launches something at Ambessa's face, we then flash back to find out that, I like this, I've heard this, I'm stealing it from someone who does podcasts, Mr. Tom Campbell of Cultaholic, when it turns out it was a setup all along. And,
my God.
Like, in 5 minutes, Caitlin is now on side. This is a bit where I can feel it's a little bit rushed, because they've only just got to know each other, and got to talk again after Caitlin brutally broke up with Vi and bedded Maddie. And,
they really got over that fast.
Yeah. And then sort of, talked about it, shot the shit in the space of 5 minutes, and then came up with this. It's Caitlin, so we already know.
Very
logical,
elaborate plan.
Yeah, very elaborate plan, but Caitlin has been shown in 2 episodes of the show already to be able to look at a scene and visualize sort of everything and compartmentalize it into memory. So that I don't have a problem with, the fact that Caitlin can, know the post of every guard and what they're doing and when they go and take a piss and all that shit, because she's known to do that. The fact that she's managed to organise that with Vi, who at best is reckless.
Yeah. And they did this. This is literally the first interaction they've had after their very messy breakup months ago.
Yeah. Like I say, I have no problem with the plan. I had the problem with the plan that happened so fast.
What they needed is another episode, or at least a third of an episode to go over this business and
maybe
hash this out.
Yeah, I would have been all for them just having there was no risk in terms of timing, and Bessa was going to wait. They weren't pushing forward until someone fucked things up, Jace. So they could have just shot the shit in that cave or in that crook, talked a bit, maybe had a little bit of an argument, then explain why they were there. Still do the same thing where you just smash cut to Ambessa's tent and the plan going along, but it was just a little step was not enough. There wasn't a step.
Yeah.
There was a bridging step that should have been there that wasn't. And
yeah. I will say before we sorry, go.
No, sorry.
When you're done with this thought, I wanted to rewind a bit, but finish up quick.
But yeah, no, that says it's stuff like that makes it seem a little rushed, and does also make it feel like this. I don't agree with the fact that people saying it should have been a 5-season thing and it should have planned for a 5-season thing. I think it's a little rushed for 2. I think we could have had a third.
Right, 3 healthy seasons.
And that would have been fit, and it would have still fitted within the 3x3x3 structure that they've done, because that in itself would be 3x3
3 episodes, 3 seasons. It would have been a nice little symmetry, little fractal viewing experience.
Yeah.
So
that's
one of the things I wanted to rewind. Yeah, one of the things I rewinded to, because before all this happens, we have an interesting scene where Singe talks with Victor.
Oh yes.
And because they know each other. They learn about how their shit works from each
Mm.
other. And I think it's interesting. It definitely goes to show like the kind of like mental state that Singed is in, like in terms of how he just has zero loyalty to anyone. Because the
Mm.
moment he sees Victor, he's like, first of all, you're awesome. I wish I could be you. Second of all, did you know that if you like stole his blood, you could be like immortal? Just saying, you'd be awesome. Like literally, he is here to get this for Ambessa and create weapons for him. But immediately he's just like, hey, just so you know, it's on the table. You
Yeah.
know, he's just like at that moment, he's like, just for the sake of science, experimenting, and just getting more interesting progress out there. He's just immediately like, I'll flip my coin again. Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, for Victor's part on that as well, he touches Singed and sees what Singed is willing to go through on this, and he immediately like reads him like a book on it and just goes, "Now I can understand why you're doing this. Like, you know, for all your faults, and you have many faults, you weird shimmer throwing at the wall, crazy human being scientist man. I understand you're doing this for your daughter. However, the answer's no." You know,
in short, no. In long paragraph.
No. Sorry.
Yeah. It's I have to say, as much as I like Jinx in me from League to Arcane, bit of a downgrade. I like League Jinx more than Arcane Jinx. I actually like Singed quite a bit more. I think he's a way more like to me, like he always read just as like crazy mad scientist guy who just, you know, it's just, you know, it's like I throw acid and fart
mix
smoke
will
out
mix,
my ass,
which he hasn't said yet. I want him to say the thing
in League. But it's just kind of like I like how like this, you know, that archetype of like, you know, this like just completely like detached mad scientist who will just do anything, you know, for the sake of doing it, just to see what will happen, and like for his own ends, entirely loyal to himself and his own, you know, goals.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can call him evil, but like he doesn't do anything maliciously. Like he's not like out to hurt people. Hurting people is just a thing that happens because
it's a side effect of his.
It is an entirely necessary and unavoidable side effect to things that he's doing outside of that, and that's very interesting. I like that. I like him a lot.
Yeah. As far as the mad scientist archetype goes, it's a very, very good version of it. So
yeah,
that's how that goes.
Yeah, and he's just a very like creepy but also interesting and nuanced character. I like him.
So we're we're all here, happy little family. We've stopped Ambessa from doing the evils at the moment. They've all reunited and everything's fine. And here comes Mr. Fuck Up. Oh, Jace.
Here comes Jace.
Oh, man. Sneaks through the commune a bit, nearly blasts the shit out of some child. Again.
Yeah, a little bit of a callback.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, remember that time you murdered a child? Here's you almost murdering a child again.
Yeah, and the child just like, innocent as all fuck, just like, gets Jace to put the hammer down, and then just like, do you want to see Daddy Victor? Do you want to see Hex Jesus? And the kid unknowingly walks Jace into the objective he was after all along. And Victor just meditating in the middle of the room. Hextech Buddha at this point, because he's gone from Hextech Jesus to Hextech Buddha.
He's gonna get all the religions.
Yeah. And then Jace just shoots him. Just stone cold blasts a Hextech hole into his Hextech chest. And
do you think it is possible? And I don't want to jump the gun because Arcane will be Arcane. Is it possible that this could be the first instance of a primary league character dying?
No.
Maybe?
I think no. And this is where I come back to the callback of Victor touching Singed and seeing that he kept Oriana in a, like, but for all intents and purposes, cryo freezer.
Yeah, it's actually like a very like Mr. Freeze kind of backstory.
Yes.
Interesting enough.
Yeah.
It's
So
like, except that Mr. Freeze, except that Mr. Freeze is more like it's like Mr. I don't know, Gas, Mr. Shimmer,
Mr. Shimmer,
Mr. Goo,
Mr. Blue Shimmer, please tell us women. But yeah, just Stone Cold kills Victor. At which point Victor then has his final realization that basically the problem with humanity is humanity.
Yeah. You know what the problem is with people? People.
Yeah.
We need if we could just get rid of people would be great.
And it turns out there was a massive side effect to Victor's healing properties, is that Victor himself had to be alive for everyone to have him.
Yeah, that didn't go well. Also, really cool fight scene with Jinx and
Rictus.
Rictus, that's it.
Yeah. Because
really cool fight scene.
Yeah,
a little bit of like it's almost like it's like slow mo and then it's like super fast and slow mo super fast.
Yeah, just this.
Jinx is dodging and shooting and
it's
and he's
animation's
like way faster than you'd think.
Yeah, it's animation's version of speed ramping, which is very like modern, very physical like thing to do when it comes to actually filming on film. But when it's animation, you have to artificially do that. It's very sort of interesting way that they had it. And let's be honest, it's Fortiche. Fortiche could animate a white piece of paper beautifully.
Yeah.
It's just how that works. But yeah.
So they have a nice little exchange.
Which ends
Rictus eventually gets the upper hand against Jinx and is about to take her out when
Warwick
Big Daddy Vander shows up.
Yeah, Big Daddy Vander just goes up and yeets Rictus out of the nearest window.
Yeah, Rictus is a big guy, as we've established. But Warwick is bigger. He is 11 feet of not fucking around in a 10-foot bag.
Yeah, no one messes with my furry dad. No, hairy dad. No one messes with my hairy dad.
I think he says something like he's like, don't touch my daughter.
Don't touch my daughter. And then it's just like...
it's like, oh no.
Rictus does get that, oh shit, and then gets defenestrated. Just...
First fight he's lost, actually. Fight against little kid. No,
against Disha. Yeah, it was close.
Very close fight. He almost won.
Yeah.
Rictus will be playing the part of Savika in the end of this act today. Although he
no.
except I think he goes a little. He overplays his part a little bit.
He does. He hammed it up and it didn't work out for him. So everyone just becomes an everlasting screaming shell of a human being. So they all just end up falling on their knees and just going as the arcane energy.
Yeah, basically the entire compound blue screens.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you hear just on the side, you just hear the Windows System 32 dunk sound from all of them. Apart from one who was a little bit modern and they used Windows 11, you heard doo-ding. Yeah. So, that happens and everyone who had been healed goes either dead or, in the terms of Warwick and Vander, fucking lava. He becomes Firefang Warwick.
Yeah, he gets all melty.
Yeah, they advertise a new skin.
Twist. It's like buy new product.
Yeah. As Arcane Survivor Jace, basically, Arcane Survivor Jace just leaves out of there, doesn't he? He shoots like Victor, and then isn't seen for the last few minutes of the episode.
So this is the part where everything kind of goes to shit. Basically, the whole compound falls apart. The Noxians take that as their cue to just.
Oh well, Ambessa sees Rictus, who she said she fights for two things: power and family, and at that point she's considered Rictus family. Because
I gotta be honest, I don't know why Ambessa's alive. Vi is so very kind and considerate to allow her to just chill.
Electro nets
shoot her, stab her, choke, break your neck, nothing. Just
No,
be like, I'll just trust the net. The net will keep you safe.
I mean, Vi just basically just looks at Ambessa and goes, "You're not worth my time," and just leaves. And it's like, that's a mistake, because this bit's on you.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
the
was an
whole thing is all
objectively bad
Jace's
decision.
fault, but, you know.
Yeah, and so basically at this point, it's like a 5,000 dudes versus 5.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Warwick's holding his own, but he's getting stabbed a bunch, and Jinx gets punched in the face, and Vi gets cut in the gut.
Yeah, and
things are not going great.
And Warwick at that point is just doomed to just kill anyone around him. He's completely gone. He's no longer Vander at this point. He is just Warwick. Really, sort of Vander just ended up getting locked back in, and so it looks to Isha, who, remember when we said foreshadowing is a literary device? Opens her pocket and sees 3 Hextech gems in there, and to the somber, emotional, swelling Chinese song that we don't know the lyrics from because you got to translate them, because Netflix and Riot intentionally did not put the subtitles for the song in the captions for this. Something along the line of, well, Isha's mute, so therefore we'll put a song in a language that you can't understand, and that will provide you her thoughts. I think like it's called Isha's song, but I think the song is just like called "This Is Good," and this is supposed to describe Isha's heroic moment.
So in China, do they like redub it with like a Mongolian singer, or like a I don't know. Who does China like? North Korean? I don't know. Then probably not North Korean. Russia? Probably not South Korean either. Russia, maybe Russian singer. That could work.
Yeah, but this music swells as Isha runs towards Warwick with Jinx's pistol, and puts in 1 gem. Runs past Jinx, who's like, "What the fuck is she doing?" And then notices that she puts in a 2nd gem and goes, "Oh no." And then she sees a 3rd gem and she goes, "Oh fuck."
Double oh no.
And realizes at that point, that Isha is going to sacrifice herself for the greater good. And
yeah, she's gonna do it's interesting because it's like there's like a visual symmetry with like Jinx and the thing that she does.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't even know, because like I guess she dies, but like that's even like hard to say, because like that would make sense narratively, but at the same time it's like I feel like that's we've visually seen this happen with Jinx at least twice. Then again, Isha's not a main League of Legends character, whereas Jinx is, so she is actually capable of dying, unlike Jinx.
Yeah. I mean, while this also happens, there's a little montage of the happy memories that Isha has had with Jinx over the past few months, probably.
Yeah.
With the undefined time skip. But it's just like, no, it's like, I'm doing this to save my big sister Jinx. And Jinx is like, dear God, please don't do that. You are the one thing I'm living for.
Yeah, also, that's like the 2nd or 3rd thing that I'm living for, the thing you're about to shoot in the face.
Yeah, so there's that. It's like, no, surely we can solve this another way, but no. It ends with Isha basically turning around back towards Jinx and going, poof, like Jinx did to her, and the episode ends with a Victor monologue as the commune explodes. Like, she fires the gun and the screen goes black with a little silhouette of what was the compound, and Jinx is just like, yes, our greatest good also leads to our unimaginable evil. I think the quote goes something to the effect of like the thing which like motivates us to our to do our greatest good is also unimaginable evil or something like that, isn't it?
It's like our greatest evil, like the things that we do, that like it's like the same. It's like we do evil things for the same reason we do good things. Basically, is what it boils down to.
Yeah, as it cuts to that, the final shot of the hit Leonardo DiCaprio Christopher Nolan film Inception occurs, as Victor's totem, a cog with one side full of Hextech rune, and the other just normal. Spins endlessly, and the film snap cuts before we see the decision of what happens. No, that's not true. It falls over Wild Rune side up, and the show ends. Well, the act ends, leading us to question what the fuck's going to happen next.
Man, if that's like the end of Warwick, I have to say that was a brief outing. It's like he appears for, like the allusion to his life happens, throughout the first act. He gets like a little 30-second like teaser like Thanos at the end of every episode, and then he finally makes his breakout debut here.
I think this is,
and then it's like he gets shot in the face with a giant Hextech core explosion. I don't know.
Yeah. I think he's going to Wolverine this shit, and he's going to come back together, but he's going to have the Warwick Wolf head, as opposed to his, as opposed to that weird troll head that he's got.
I think he'll come back fully Warwick.
Fully Warwick. Isha,
never
not
go
so
full
much.
Warwick.
Yeah, she's not going to come back as Teemo.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, jeez. I have said this to Stefan before we started. If Isha is Teemo, if it comes back and it turns out that she is Teemo, she was a yodel all along and she glamoured, I don't care. You're going to have to tell me the rest of the show because I won't have watched it.
Man, it was quite an impactful ending.
It was impactful, and like I say, Shellshocked was sort of the emotion that sort of just come up on there. It's just like, wow, all right, you're just not giving anyone a happy ending, eh?
Yep.
It's just not going to happen. Humanity. I was going to say for a second, humanity is evil, and that's just
I guess this is how this is supposed to be like the moment where Victor makes his big final character evolution, where he's like, yeah, humans are the problem with humans, so the only way to fix that is to remove the human. Yeah. Make everything, metal is perfection.
Yeah.
Glorious evolution.
Evolve the humanity out of them. And that's just that's how it's going to work.
He's all about in League, so.
Yeah. We have been told by Link and Yi that for Act 3 we are definitely going to find out what happened to Jace, Echo and Heimerdinger in the anomaly. And I fucking hope so. we can't just have Jace come out back into Rune Terror and go, I need your jacket, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Do you think when they come out, Heimerdinger's going to be able to, he's going to have, deployable turrets and shit, and Echo's going to have, his, time...
His zero drive,
nonsense?
Probably. Probably. What I am hoping, and I need this as a prediction, what I am hoping is that this show isn't resolved by Echo being able to do a 7-year zero drive rewind. Just just imagine all this. Imagine all this never happened. And so the world of League of Legends is...
This wasn't a bad dream, but I can make it a bad dream.
Yeah, Echo, no! So that's sort of going to happen. I mean, it's starting to look like it's actually going to be Piltover and Zorn versus Noxus at the end of all this as well. Just you know what? Uneasy alliance. Before we fight ourselves, let's clear these shit stains of Noxus off our field first. So that's going to happen. I mean, what we're going to do with Fractured Jinx, I have no idea. At that point, does she just become crazy Jinx? Kooky crazy, fuck it, everything burns again, Jinx, or,
Yeah, and that's the best part about having a character whose whole character trait is that they're crazy. It's they can do whatever. They can either be perfectly sensible and logical and follow along to a plot, or if the writers think it would be more dramatic and impactful, they could be like, she's crazy. And it's just I just feel like the story doesn't know what to do with Jinx at this point. I just hope they figure it out.
I mean, like I say, I know they've wanted to basically make the characters complex, and most of it they have. And, like I say, we didn't, sometimes characters need to be more than just, they're a guy in a video game, and Arcane has succeeded for most of that. Like I say, it's a bit of a thing, because, I mean, let's say part of your thing on there is, like, characterizing Jinx much more heavily than she was ever given in League lore. Like infinitely more. I mean, let's say what we knew about Jinx was she blew stuff up, and she had a problem with Caitlyn and her enforcer, and that enforcer turns out to be Vi, and then they retcon it in that Vi and Jinx were related, and that's how Arcane came to be in the first place. You added the other characters of, other Piltovens and stuff to flesh it out, because you felt you couldn't just have a full series about two characters. And that's how that sort of went. But give us my boy Heimerdinger back. Give us the Dinger.
Yeah. And what happened to the poor professor? What happened to his pet Poro?
Good question.
Where he at?
Good question. We've got a week to figure it out. Bring back the Porofessor. In fact, this was all the machinations of the Porofessor all along. Don't shoot that Hextech laser at me.
He's just like firing that Hextech laser at me. I was like, I'll show you. And it's like, I am the avatar of the Arcane.
Oh God, yeah. And there's the other question. What is?
I like to imagine. I like to imagine that like the reason Jace is like trying to destroy all this shit. He's like he spent like a year trapped in like perpetual like League of Legends lobbies, and he's had to deal with all toxic League players in Summoner's Rift and shit, over and for like a year. He's like, if that happens here, we're fucked. I can't stop. I have to stop this from happening.
I can't suffer 15-minute remakes. I can't. If someone dodges a cube one more time, I think I'm going to go insane. Wait, the person who dodged didn't want to play Victor? You!
and that's why he brought the hammer. He's got the band hammer.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna.
So we're a little over time, but I think there was just so much to talk about. Like this was such a
dense
packed act. Like Act 1, like we probably could have done it in an hour and a half if we didn't have the recap from Season 1 to deal with. But like it was a fairly straightforward act. But this was like, Jesus Christ.
I'm happy we did it within 2. So that's.
But yeah, we gotta wrap it up. I gotta go eat. I gotta go make dinner. My mom's waiting for me. She's probably starving.
And I've got to go sleep. So that's that. Right. Some point next week. We discussed it last time that it's not necessarily going to be this time next week, but we're gonna discuss it.
Considering how much time I hypothetically had to get this done on time today, and I barely made it. I'm 15 minutes over the line. I can almost guarantee we'll have to postpone that Act 3 a day or two because because I was like home but like doing family stuff today. I will be out of town next week, so I will almost certainly have to be pushed back a couple days. So sorry for that.
But that'll be fine. We'll discuss it anyway. So
it will get done.
Yeah, I mean it'll probably give me a couple of extra days to just sit there and process it all.
There you go.
Because what will probably also happen there is there'll probably be a little brief moment where we sort of wrap up the series as a whole.
Yeah, of course we'll have to do our like a slightly shorter final thoughts stream.
So
either a few days or a week later.
Yeah, right. But with that,
busy November.
Yeah, so busy. All right. Well, with that, then we're gonna get out of here. So wherever you see this, please don't hate us too much. Hey, discuss some stuff. That'd be cool.
Talk about how you feel about Act 2, Season 2 in the comments down below.
Yeah, leave a comment. Leave a comment down below. Is Teemo Isha? God, I've
make that fan art.
I
want to see that fan art.
I've set myself up. So from me, Duncan, and Gentleman Warwick,
Goodbye,
Indeed.
Governor. Peace out.